Hello and welcome to the channel. So we've got a Wem Dominator MK3 in for repair. This one is in a bit of a state, so this is one that I've got to fix pretty quickly. So the person that owns this has brought me this amp up, and they live quite a way away, so I need to try and get this one done as quick as possible. But it is in a bit of a state. You can see that the front's been, the trim here has been glued on there. So it looks like it's been stored for a while, needs its face washing, but other than that it looks okay. We need to spin it round, have a look at the back, and I've just looked in here. The fuse is missing out of here from there. So for all those that's not seen these amps before, this is a twin channel 15 watt amplifier, two EL84s, there's three 12AX7s in it, long tail pair phase inverter. We've got a bright switch, treble boost switch on here, pretty simple, just volume, treble and bass, two channels. There we go. So if we look in the back, we've got the, it looks like the original mullards are still in this amp. We've got three 12AX7s in there, and they look like they're original. In fact, this whole amplifier looks completely original. Doesn't look like anything has been changed on it. The coupling cap doesn't look very clever at a glance. There appears to be a bit of gumption coming out of it. You can't see it probably very well with the light, but it's there. So this amp's apparently started smoking, and if I remember, so we're possibly looking at a transformer that's gone on this amp, but we're not sure. The speaker, if we have a look at the speaker, you can see that's done for as well. Someone's broken off the tag with the wire on there, the tag strip thing. That's gone, and you can see there's a lot of mould, and you can see it's a bit of a scraper as well. So I think that speaker's all over. Right, let's get it out of the cabinet and then we can have a proper look at it. Right, this transformer is blown completely and utterly, and this capacitor's also shot. So we've got a replacement transformer here, and I'm on location at the moment, so I've not got a lot of light, and filming's not going to be easy. But so first thing I'm going to do is obviously remove this. It's getting red hot. It smells quite bad as well, the smell of shellac. We're going to change this capacitor, we're going to change these diodes, just rebuild this power supply, and we're also going to change this capacitor, and then we're going to fire this amp up and see, just check and make sure that we've got no leakage onto these grids. This fuse holder is not the correct one that goes in here. I don't know what I've done with that now, but that doesn't actually fit in there, so I soldered the fuse in just to test it. But that transformer is, there's no voltage coming out of the AC. I've disconnected it from the amp and it's just getting red hot, so there's no question that's blown. Right, let's see how far we've got with this amp. So we've got the new transformer on. The other transformer was absolutely blown. It was we had it disconnected, and there was virtually no AC coming out. The transformer was getting really hot. Luckily I had a spare one of these, so we've dropped that on. We've got the cap on there. That was absolutely shot as well. We'll have a look at that in a minute. We've got the resistor on there, new resistor, new diodes, so that's all done. We've got a capacitor there. We just need to put a bit of gumption around him to hold him together so we don't juggle about. So we've got him done. I've run this amp up just on a double load, done some readings. The bias is 14 watts, so we need to reduce that. Don't know why the bias is at 14 watts, but it is. But anyway, so we're going to reduce that with this resistor. We're just going to put 150 ohms in. That one's 102 it measures, so I think if we put 150 in there, maybe that should do us, get us about 12 watts, 11 to 12 watts. That should be fine for this amp. Anything else? Yes, the fuse holder is tapered, so I don't try that at home. It was just while I was testing, so I've soldered that in just just so we could test. I always like to have a fuse in, but actually it was the fuse holder part is okay. It's the wrong insert for some reason. So we've got to change the fuse. Just fuse holder, wire that up. We've got to change this resistor just to take a bit of the load off this transformer and these tubes. Remember the original mullards in these. We just need to clean the sockets and things, check the pots work okay, and that should be about it for this one. We've tried to clean out some of the dust and stuff that was in there. Normally I like to strip these down completely and clean them all, but this one's on a time constraint, so the person that owns this has travelled a long way to drop this amp off, and it needs to be done by tomorrow. Right, let's just have a look what we've done at this amp. It's now finished. So we changed the power transformer, and this is the exact same type as these Dominator Mark Threes have. We've changed the electrolytic, that was shot, and that's around here somewhere. There you can see that's a bit of a mess. That actually tested okay. It actually tested at 56 microfarads for each half, and it's 50 microfarads, but if that's the date, that says 1975, and there's gumption pouring out of it, so I'm afraid that was all over. Even though it tested fine, it's not going to run for much longer in that state. We've changed the drop-in resistor, we've changed the diodes, we've changed this capacitor here, which is feeding the screens, smoothing the screens should I say. We've changed these two 10 nanofarads here because they were one of those was leaking slightly, only slightly, but it was leaking. We've changed the cathode resistor because we had high bias, and now we've got the bias down to about 11 watts, so we've put 150 ohms in, and we've changed the cathode bypass capacitor there. So the leak on that was about 1/4 of a volt, so it wasn't massive, but you know, it may get worse over time if it's starting to leak. The other one wasn't, but again, it's been somewhere damp, and that's probably what's blown the power transformer on there, the fact that it's been somewhere damp. We've changed the fuse holder because the insert was incorrect for that and it wouldn't connect at all. So that's all of that. We've cleaned the pots, we've cleaned the tube sockets, usual deal with that. So we're ready to get this back in the cabinet now, and while we're doing that, we can have a butchers of the speaker that we've found to put in this. Right, so we've cleaned all the cabinet out, we've removed the speaker's shot, we've removed all the wiring, and you can see up here there's a hole that's been, maybe I can see in there, there's a hole been drilled there, and the speaker socket that came out was all mashed, and the cable was all a mess, so we've removed all of that. Now let's have a look at the speaker. So here's the speaker that came out of this amp, and like all these type of speakers, it's a scraper. And of course we've got all this damage on it here as well, so it's all over. It's mouldy and gooey, and it's got to go. Right, I've got it in the in its case. You can see the speaker down there. It's not very great light where I've got it. We'll have a better look at that later, but what I'm looking at the moment is this EL84, this Mullard. And if we hear that, I'm afraid he's not looking good. So I'm afraid he's got to go, sadly. Changed that too. We found another Mullard. It's a slightly older one because you can tell by the logos are different, but it's gone in there and it works a treat. So we've sorted that out. So let's have a look at the speaker now. If we go down a bit. So there you can see the speaker in there. Ibanez Power Jam. it's not a bad speaker, that. It's certainly better than the one that came out of it. It'll get the customer away for the time being. So there we go. So anything that's left now is to have a listen to it. Right, we've got this Wem plugged in, so let's have a bit of a listen. Channel. Not a deal of difference between these channels really on these amps, they're pretty similar. So there we go, a bit of a listen to that. It's a nice clean tone. They will break up if you really crank them hard, and they're a great little amp. They're getting quite expensive now actually. At one time they were quite a budget amp, you could buy them pretty cheap, but they are now pushing into the £500 region. You can still pick them up cheap here and there, but they usually want a bit of work doing to them. But yeah, that'll do it for this one. So we've done quite a bit of work to this amp to get it up and running, and it's you know, it's one of those where we've had to do it quickly for the customer. But and it still needs a bit of a clean up, you know, but the customers, I'm sure the customer will clean it up. So that'll do it. So thanks for watching. Sorry about some of the shaky video work in this, but it was filmed on various locations, including down at my father's house. So yeah, I seem to have I spend so much time with the camera on the tripod these days. I get a bit out of practice now if I'm having to hold it. It's a bit of a skill holding the camera still while you're working. It's even more of a skill trying to stop the dog from tripping over it. What have you to say for yourself? What have you to say? What have you to say for yourself, Shaft? This is my golden retriever, Shaft, also known on the videos as Henchman Dregs. So that'll do it for this one. So thanks for watching. You all take care, and I'll see you all in another video. Bye bye for now.